Good morning, everyone, to day 5, the final day for this year's Trade with Africa Business Summit. My name is Toyin Umesiri. I want to welcome you all. And I know in the next couple of minutes, more would be joining. We're starting really early today because we have so much to cover. Our first speaker of today, I mean, this is probably going to be the most fun segment of the entire show. So, we have a celebrity guest and speaker. It's such an honor to share a little bit about Ms. Vera Moore. She's the president and CEO of Vera Moore Cosmetics. She will share our story with us today and also our expansion to Africa. Ms. Vera Moore is a former actress turned entrepreneur. She's the president and CEO of Vera Moore Cosmetics, a highly competitive family-owned business. Vera Moore Cosmetics was established in 1979, and VMC was developed from the guidance of a licensed esthetician, which is Ms. Vera's husband, Mr. Billy. VMC maintains the position that women should clear it up versus cover up. The brand is anchored in the belief that skincare is the focus coupled with the usage of cosmetics. Thus, mantra, skincare is the true foundation. Ms. Vera has appeared on several soap operas. A major contract was landing the role of Linda Metcalf. I hope I said that right. As one of the first Black actresses in a family on the soap opera Another Worlds, NBC, for 10 years. She immediately realized the void in the market for quality products for women of color, especially a natural looking foundation. This gave birth to Vera Moore Cosmetics. She's been interviewed widely, so I want to encourage no, let's do this, man. We really want to honor you on this platform. So I want to encourage people to really do such a name on the Nazareth Trade platform and read the entire content. But I just want to scroll through our press kit now. So Vera Moore Cosmetics has been around, like I said, for a long time. So we have so much to learn from her. And I'll just scroll through, like I shared, the ethics of the business, skincare, for women of color, meeting our needs. And I think this is a fantastic fit for the continent. So, she's going to share a story, but I just want to give some visual so that it helps prepare, for us to really honor this amazing, amazing woman that has so much represented women in business at the highest levels. She's been well celebrated, well covered, and, I'm also going to play a little clip right now on the brand position as well.
Vera Moore Cosmetics and Skincare was formed to empower all women to feel great about themselves for more than just a moment. When it comes to a flawless complexion, skincare is the key. Vera Moore Cosmetics and Skincare is for women of all ages and skin tones. Be the more fabulous woman you were born to be.
Yay, it's such an honor, Miss Vera. You have the floor. Please. You're mute, so please.
Wow, this is such an honor. So you read my bio, so I don't have to do anything. Well, first of all, before I start, I want to say I give honor to God, because in him I move and I have my being. I mean that sincerely, because I've been through a journey, and without my faith, I couldn't have made it. I want to thank you, Toyin. I had no idea what this was going to be all about. And, I to be honest, I never really heard of the African Trade Summit. So for you to invite me to come, I was ecstatic. I really was. But then on top of it, like the icing on the cake, I'm getting an opportunity to speak and to tell my story. So I'm humbled by it and I appreciate it. So I'm going to start with this, and I'm going to be very candid. Can you handle that? Okay, I'm going to be very transparent. I started with very humble beginnings. My mother was a domestic worker. My father was a porter. There were 7 of us, 5 brothers and 1 sister. My mother scrubbed floors for a living. She went to the third grade, a third grade education. My father, a porter, couldn't read. He learned how to read from the Bible. So those were my beginnings. And you know, all these things going on about the mindset and you're more than enough and you're good enough now. I was born with that. We came from a Christian environment. My mother always told me, my aunt and my father, I had the best mother and father in the world. They broke the mold with my dad and my mother. I'm grateful. I have no sad stories to tell you about that. But what I want to tell you, they didn't have the education, but they were wise. They had wisdom, and you can't get that in a book. They, from the beginning, told me about the mindset. Vera, no matter where you come from, who you are, what you look like, what complexion you are, you can do it. Hone your skills, educate yourself, put God first, you're going to make it. Just remember who you are and to stand in your own truth. Do you know that I didn't even know I was poor until I got older? Now, let me tell you why. I never was hungry. My mother was a domestic worker. You know, I'm just going to talk the way I speak. Black people, Black women, domestic workers, they could take lemons into lemonade, make chicken, greens, grits, collard greens, corn. We always ate. And then she was a domestic worker. She brought all the food from where she had scrubbed the floors. I grew up on lasagna and Jewish food and Italian food because that's what we ate. I never had to worry about clothes because my aunts, the 3 strong women in my family, they worked in a factory and they would bring scraps home of clothes. I was wearing couture and I didn't even know it. My aunt worked in a very, very high-end factory. She'd bring the scraps of clothes and they'd make me clothes. And even with my auditions on theater, I had fabulous clothes, but they were scraps from the factory. Making do what you had, that mindset, that wisdom. I never even entertained, you're Black, you can't do it. That never entertained my mind. And I never knew I was poor, this is true, until I got older. Because there was so much love. I used to go to school with holes in my shoes. And I remember later on, I said, you know what? I must have been poor. I had holes in my shoes. My mother used to put cardboard in the shoe. Now, maybe you don't know anything about this. I'm telling you my story. She'd put cardboard in the shoe, and I would go to school, and it didn't intimidate me. She said, don't worry, we're going to get you some shoes next week, and give me a big kiss and a big hug. And I went to school. I wasn't intimidated that I had holes in my shoes. And I went to an integrated school. I also remember they used to teach, would say, all right, tomorrow we're going to have an event. Everybody bring cookies in. My mother couldn't afford to buy any butter cookies. So you know what she did? Wise. She would make, because we ate homemade stuff all the time. She was from the South, biscuits and cornbread. She made these little cute little cookies, and she made them like a little gingerbread man. I brought my cookies into school. Teachers, oh my God, these are lovely. My mother made them. You understand? I wasn't intimidated. You had butter cookies and I did. All the mindset. So even we were on welfare. I didn't know that until I was older. I didn't know I was poor, but I really wasn't poor. I was rich. I went to public school, 143, 127, and then high school. I was never afraid to try it. I was never told, you're Black, you can't do it, because, you know, we were living in a white society. We still are, but I was never told that. I was never said, hold your head down. No, I was told, stand up, be polite, be respectful, and stand in your own truth. In those words, as a child, we were all taught that. When I went to high school, Flushing High School, they used to have people from the federal government and the city come to the high school when you're in your senior to see if you needed a job, if you wanted a job, to try to get a job at the government. Now, I didn't go to college. And I knew I had to take a commercial course. I always had a strategy, Toyin. I had a plan. I said, you know what? I got to help my mom because we're in a poor neighborhood. I said, I'm going to take a commercial course, learn stenographer, learn shorthand so I can get a job. That was the deal. So when they came around, I said, you know, who wants to take the test? I'll take the test. So I told my mother, she says, well, Vera, if you don't get it, you don't get it. But take the test. You're a great stenographer. And we had a month's notice for it. So I practiced, see, honing your skills, getting ready. Increase my speed with STEM and typing. That's where I was going. So I got the test, took the test and passed the test. Working for the federal government. I graduated in June. After July 4th, I had a job working for the federal government on Wall Street. Now here it is, the mindset again. I didn't want to be in the pool. They put everybody in the pool, GS1, whatever. It was a big, gorgeous building, the Custom House. And I was down there for a couple of months and I said, I don't want to be down here. Always wanting to advance, to expand. I said, I want to be upstairs on the 3rd floor. Now, what was on the 3rd floor? On the 3rd floor was the lawyer and the secretary. That's what's on the 3rd floor. The solicitor's office for the Port of New York. That's where I worked. So I took a test. Mom said, take a test. You're great. You take the test. I took the test, passed the test. Now, when I got upstairs, a little nervous, but look, fear not, go for it. I honed my skill. You know, I went. I made a relationship. You got to build a relationship with the lawyer. His name was Melvin Greenberg. I'll never forget Melvin. I said, Mr. Greenberg, you know, I want to be in the theater. You know, listen, I was so young, I don't know, you know. He says, well, I said, yes, I'm a singer. I grew up in church, singing in church. I was in the choir, Sunday school. I want to be a singer. I want to be on Broadway. He said, okay, maybe he didn't take me serious. I don't know, but I was serious. So I said, Mr. F, after a while, you know, you don't ask right up front. You got to build a relationship. I said, Mr. Greenberg, do you mind if I go to my auditions on my lunch hour? And he said, sure, go ahead. Now, see, God always made a way for me. He didn't have to say yes, because this is federal government. You have to be there at 8 o'clock in the morning. You have to sign in. You got to be on time. Your lunch hour is only an hour. You sign out, you sign in. So I said, you know, I might be a little late. He said, don't worry about it. So, you know, now you're in the law division, not in the pool. It's just him and me. So I go to my auditions on my lunch hour. Now, for those that do not know New York, I was at Wall Street. Theater district, Broadway, 40, it takes an hour to get up there on the train. So what did I do? Determined, made up my mind. I wanted to do this. I was passionate about this. I would eat on the train, take my clothes in the shopping bag. This is true. Go to the theater, change my clothes, made my audition, changed my clothes when I got back to go back to the law division. You had to look a certain way. I'd come back and he'd say, well, Vera, did you get it? No, I didn't get it, Mr. Greenberg. Back and forth. 5 years I did this. Patience. 5 years back and forth. One day I came back, Toy, and he said, did you get it? I said, yes, I got it. So what are you going to do? I said, I'm going to quit. And his boss, the big boss, Mr. Blecker said, the solicitor said, Vera, you're going to quit a federal government job, all your benefits, sick leave, annual leave, whatever they gave you, for a 6-week job? Because I was summer stock. For those that don't know what summer stock is, it means that you work just for the summer trying to do these jobs in order to get your equity card, in order to go to Broadway. I planned. So I quit my job. It's the risk. I took a risk. I quit my job, the 6 weeks, for 6 weeks employment, got my equity card. Then I auditioned for my first Broadway show, Pearly Victorious. It wasn't easy, but nothing in life is easy, is it? I got that show, Pearly Victorious, on Broadway. It was fantastic. Melba Moore, the Tony Award winning show. Then after that, I auditioned, honed my skills at night, in between the gigs, as we say. When you're not working, you got to hone your skills. You got to be ready. You don't sit back and say, oh, well, you know, I'll wait for the next job. I'll do nothing. No. You got to be ready, constantly honing your skills. Then I got a great opportunity to travel with the Metropolitan Opera singer, Kathleen Battle, in the Black opera Trementia, Scott Joplin. Wow. At Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. Wow. Exposure, networking, getting to know more people, being on time, those core values that you need no matter what you do. Then I came back, went to California for a year to do a show out there. came back, did a comedy with Jackie Mason. Now, Jackie Mason's show, big. What was I going to wear? You know, only Black girl in the show. No, that's not true. My mother was Black in that show. I wore the fabulous outfit. And they said, Vera, this outfit is fabulous. Scraps. Scraps. I'll never forget it. Scraps that my mother had made. That's what I wore on opening night on Broadway. Then I got my big break. Not that theater wasn't a big break, because it is. Broadway is big. It's bigger than life. And your makeup is bigger than life. Because it's such a big stage, you know, the makeup is heavy, it's thick, it's greasy on Broadway. But when I got the audition for soap opera, the agent called me and said, Vera, they're having the first time in history. So this is a barrier breaker. They're going to have a soap opera on national television, NBC, called Another World. And the first time they're going to have a Black family. Never had a Black family on national television, NBC. People came from all over. This was big time. This is national television, Channel 4. We're going to submit you for it. What do you think? I said, listen, that's what I've been doing. That's what I've been trying to do. So I auditioned. I got it. Now I'm saying I got it fast forward. I mean, it was back and forth. Nothing happens overnight. And just like no matter what you do, there's a process. I had to audition. I had to read in front of the camera. I had to read against the guy that was going to play opposite me. They had to put the family together to see if it was a good fit. There's a lot of stuff going on between. Now, you must realize, was this easy? It really wasn't. We're the only Black family in that television show. So what was so good about us, so great about us, we stuck together. We knew we weren't invited to all the things, and all the media, and all the parties. That's all right. We were there for a purpose, to break that barrier. I was on Another World for 10 years. And that's when the genesis of Vera Cosmetics was created, because they did the best they could with what they had was insufficient, because they never had black actors. The makeup was greasy, it was oily, it was chalky, it was dark. Now remember, I'm under hot lights in a major studio. This is Channel 4. I would pick up the telephone. My character was Linda Metcalf. You can look it up, the nurse. And I'd say, good afternoon, Dr. Matthews' office. May I help you? The makeup was all over the phone. The makeup was on my papers. The makeup was on my clothes. And that was the genesis of Vera Cosmetic. Because there was a total void in the market for Black women and women of color. Now, why do I keep saying Black women? Because I specifically targeted for Black women. You know why? Because we range from white to Black. And what they had for us was chalky, it was ashy, it was greasy, it was oily, it was thick. And that's not the way we wanted it. We wanted something natural. And then I had to educate, and it's all good. I had to educate them on skincare. That skincare is the foundation. Makeup is an accessory. And you must also remember, there was no diversity. I'll get to that. Then I had an opportunity to go into Green Acres Mall. Now, we first started in the hair salon, the little hair salon. Don't despise humble beginnings. My husband was a licensed esthetician for 40 years, did celebrity makeup artists and celebrity hair. My daughter was graduate of Howard University School of Business, came back and got her license in being an esthetician. She's an esthetician for over 18 years. And I would say to the people, I said, Billy, let's try it here. So people come in and get their hair done. I said, you want to try this toy? Okay, I'll try it. Oh my God, I like this. This is better than that other stuff. That other stuff is greasy, oily, red, rubs all over your clothes. Oh my God, no, this is nice here. I said, Billy, we got it. But then something else happened. I was raising the self-esteem because we weren't perceived. Now, let me make it plain. Black people, Black women weren't perceived as beautiful. No, I'm telling it like it is. Perception is real to the perceiver. If you weren't, let's be clear here, white, blonde, we weren't beautiful. Large nose, big lips, whatever. We weren't perceived as beautiful. I had to deal with the mindset of us knowing that we were beautiful. Because see, I grew up like that, and I was fortunate. Not everybody grew up like that, so I was fortunate. And I had an opportunity to go into Green Acres Mall. Now, that was the biggest challenge of my life. Green Acres Mall was a very prestigious mall on Long Island. Okay, very prestigious mall on Long Island. And I heard that they were building a second floor, or they were renovating the mall. So I said, Ma, we shop there. See, that's the thing. I shop and I spent my money there. Right? You know my point? So I said, Ma, they're expanding Green Acres Mall. And I said, Billy, they're expanding Green Acres Mall. I said, I think I'm going to try to get in that mall. My family always encouraged me. My husband, well, listen, let's try. We've been doing so many things. We're crazy. Let's try. But now you have to be careful who you share your dreams with. Because some people, well, they don't mean to be toxic. They just don't have the mindset. Vera, how you going to get in that mall? Ain't no Black people in that mall. Well, somebody has to be the barrier. Somebody has to break the color barrier, right? Somebody has to level the playing field. Why not me? Did you tell that to Harriet Tubman? So I went over to the mall. I said, I shop here. I have to tell you a story. I shop here. I live in Laurelton, Queens, and I have a cosmetic company. And you have a cosmetic company, Vera? Yes. Where'd you come? My company's in Jamaica. Well, I did have a company. We were in a beauty parlor. It was a company. They didn't ask me how big the company was. We had a company, right? I had a company. So, I laugh at it now. God help me. So they said, okay, back and forth. Now I'm going to tell you, as an entrepreneur, make sure you send everything certified receipt requested. See, I didn't know all that stuff because sometimes people say they didn't get it. When they hang on the phone for an hour and then they hang up, these are all deterrents, but you gotta go for it. You gotta make up your mind. You gotta be tenacious. And I had the audacity to go in there and say, well, I want to be on the first floor. So over the period of a year and a half, something happened. I went back and they said, Vera, listen, we've changed management. And there's really no more room on the first floor. All that's gone because it's been over a year. So I took a breath. I didn't get emotional. I used my head. I said, well, you're building a second floor. They never had a second floor. He said, well, that's going to be food court. And there's only going to be major stores up there, conglomerate, big stores, like big stores. So I said, well, let me see your second floor. Let me see it. Was I angry? Yes. So I went up to the second floor, big stores. But the bathroom, now it wasn't a bathroom yet because they were building it. The bathroom of the second floor was 10 by 10. See how God is? My stores were going to be 10 by 10 anyway. I couldn't afford anything other than a 10 by 10. You know what I said? I'll take it. Now, maybe they thought that was going to be a deterrent. I took it. We took that store and mirrored it, looked like a jewel box. They kept me up on the second floor for 10 years in Green Acres Mall. After the 10, and it was very difficult, but I always find the good. I always find the good. I would have gone on the roof to break the color barrier. That was my goal, to break that color barrier. Economic empowerment in my neighborhood. We shopped in that store. Why can't we be in that store? Because this way would open up room, opportunities for other people in the community, because I had to break the barrier. So we stayed upstairs on the 10th floor, and I would have gone on the roof just to do it for my children and for your children. Stayed upstairs for 10 years, renegotiated my contract, went down on the first floor for 15 years, and then we built our kiosks. Now, a kiosk is not like a cart. You can't move it around. I didn't want to be in a cart. I always wanted the best. I always strive for the best. I didn't want a cart. Nothing wrong with a cart, but I didn't want to say, where's Vera this weekend? Well, she's front of Macy's, or she's front of this. No. I wanted something that was stationary, so we did a kiosk. How did I do the kiosk? I mortgaged my home. I'm not suggesting you do it, but I don't have any money. I mortgaged my home to do it. Risk and reward. Stayed downstairs for 15 years. We were the first Black tenant in the history of Green Acres Mall for 15 years. I'm trying to watch my time, Toya. And then how do we grow the brand? Licensing. We licensed Vera more names throughout the boroughs. We did distribution throughout the United States in beauty parlors. I did trade shows all over. Bronner Brothers, every show in the world. We did everything. Bus, makeovers, everything. Then I got an opportunity to go into Macy's. It didn't work out, but that's okay. everything doesn't always work out. And it cost me a lot of money. Yeah, I had a pity party for a minute. But you know what that did for me? Yeah, I lost a lot of money. What it did for me was it got me retail ready. EDI, liability insurance, the catalog, all, SKUs. Believe me, ask Toya, she'll tell you if you want to go into a big box. So I got ready for my next big break. I was interviewed for a major national store. I won't mention the name. I don't know if I should or not. Toya will have to tell me to do it.
Please do.
The name?
Yes, please.
Okay. I didn't know. Always ask when you don't know. I was interviewed to go into Dwayne Reed and Walgreens. Walgreens was creating a new initiative called the Look Boutique. It was fabulous. So it was mass market, but I was not in mass market. The Look Boutique was a section within Walgreens, like a Sephora, very high end, positioned differently. So I never was in mass market, but I was within that store. So I interviewed for the store and I got it. I was in that store for 12 years, but the good thing I was talking about, don't despise little things, and sometimes things don't work out, but then they do work out. If I hadn't gone to Macy's, I wouldn't have been retail ready. The first thing they asked me when I went into Walgreens was, are you EDI? Are you barcoded? Yes, I just done that. So I was ready. And one thing I want to tell entrepreneurs, if you're not ready, don't do it. You ruin your reputation. Say no. Because you got to be able to fill that order on time. It's very, very important. And we stayed. Now, they closed 200 stores, Walgreens, a year ago. All of them were mine. Not the 200 stores, but all the stores in the Look Boutique. They closed it, and we lost that distribution. But then you had to pivot. What did I do? I went online. We were online, but I never catered to it. We were taking care of our store. So we pivot online, and we sell online, VeraMoreCosmetics.com. And now the people that we serviced before from Walgreens, we were in Hawaii, Puerto Rico, Las Vegas, all over. They're calling us. So it's going to work out. So I don't know if I spend my 30 minutes, but Toy, I want to say, and I'm finished, I want to thank you. And I remember you said, okay, I think when we first came on the first day, I'm not sure, but I loved it. Now, listen, guys, you got to get on this train. This train is going to leave you. If you don't get on this train, I'm over. I'm gone. Well, guess what, Toyin? I got my ticket, honey. I'm waiting for you. Thank you.
Oh, bravo. Oh, take it. We are taking a bow. This is, oh my gosh. Thank you. So much germs, so much lessons, and my goodness, it touched my heart.
Yeah.
You went straight for the heart.
I told the truth.
Oh, thank you.
I couldn't have made it without my mother. I'm telling you, she was my rock. She was my rock. She gave me the courage and the stamina and the resilience. God, put God first. Look, I gotta acknowledge. Look, we came from a Christian, and that was my faith. This is what I stood on. This is why I'm not afraid to address anybody properly with respect. You understand what I'm saying? How could I? When did I get the nerve to go to Green Acres Mall? All white men. Let's put it out and stand and say, little black girl, I want to be in this mall. Yeah, I got a business. I don't have any business. You know what I'm saying? Go into a soap opera all white with the producers on Broadway. Believe me, and with the disparities and the inequities that Black women faced because they had inferiority complexes because no one perceived them as beautiful. And perception is real to the deceiver. How do you perceive yourself? I'm finished, ain't I?
Thank you. I could just listen on and on, but thank you again. And the work we're doing now is to help you, support your expansion.
Yes.
To the continent. Your brand is a perfect fit. And at Nazaru, what we want to do is bring networks and our resources, whether it's government, whether it's support. We're going to be planning some meetings for you to really bring, the support you need. The continent is ready for such an amazing story. And thank you for the honor. And wow, I am just blown away. Thank you, ma'am.
And we do have 2 contacts already, Zimbabwe and Ghana.
Yes, I didn't want to put
That's
that, but
don't say
yes.
that.
Please, no, say it, please.
Well, I'm gonna tell you real quick how it happened.
Yes.
You know, Walgreens was national. A lady from Zimbabwe, she was living in, I don't know, Washington, Virginia, came to Walgreens in Washington, and she saw my line. She loved the products. So the salesperson associate said, there's a lady here. She's from Zimbabwe. She loves your product. She's going to come back because she wants to meet you. Would you come? I went to Washington. See? Go for it. Don't be lazy. You got to work. I went and I met her. And she says, I'm going to take your product. I sold her the products. Well, she saw me on your flyer. I haven't seen that lady, in 5 years. She saw me on your flyer. And she said to me, are you the lady that I met many years ago in Walgreens? Are you Vera Moore? And I said, yes, that's me. I'm blah, 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 blah. And I said, yes, I do remember you. Well, I want to do something. I'm opening up a spa in Zimbabwe. Let's talk. I'll call you after this conference is over. As a result of you, we reconnected, Toya, by you allowing me to be on the flyer. Otherwise, maybe she never would have called me. I don't know.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah. And I told you she's somebody you need to stay with.
I did.
She's
And
well connected.
Yes, I did. And I follow instructions.
Okay, we're ready to do this.
Okay, I'm done. I'm not going to talk anymore. I'm done.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Everybody just help me thank, Miss Vera. We're going to be, hopefully next year we're able to share the success story and what we're able to do in the next 12 months.